Have you got headphones that you can chuck on now or not? All right. We should be live. Should be. I can see us on YouTube. I can see Jules in front of me. If you're watching now, can you tell us if you can hear us? George has got a new setup in the studio and it's brilliant, and you're going to see why tonight. We just want to make sure it's working. Can we get an audio check from the audience in the chat before we kick off? They can hear us. We're good to go. George,
Vamos.
show the viewers that. Bang. Look at that.
Can you actually see it on your end?
Yeah.
Like flicking?
I can see me. I'm there. I'm right there on that camera. And now, show everyone Jules right there.
Inspirational.
Yeah. There's a bit of a delay on my YouTube, but it'll come. Here we go. It's unbelievable.
Oh.
All right. So, show's going to look a little bit different tonight because we're going to try and see how this all works out. I'm going to trust in George, the producer, tonight. He's not on the mic tonight, but he's there.
The best in the business.
He's going to be flicking between the 3 different cameras for me and Jules. And I do say just me and Jules, but anyway, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Joe has a little bit of a clip, I reckon.
I'm going to be giving someone a clip. And I reckon you'll be able to work out who it is. Now, I'm going to try and enter the studio here, George. I should be all right because I can see, yeah, this is fine. All right. Well, we're back for one more in 2025. And we're going to get into it after this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It was clean. It was clinical. Like, we executed to perfection.
Now, I'd like to actually go into a few stats because, and I questioned Charlie about a month or so ago.
That is so frustrating as a fan. All you needed was an extra 2-3%.
On the podcast, you're a shit person. You're arrogant. You're obnoxious. I'm sick of it. And I reckon I've got 2 more episodes in me.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to... I'm looking here, not there. Welcome, everyone, to episode 169 of the Almost Blues Brothers podcast. Proudly brought to you and produced this year, as it has been, by Mavros Studios here at 84 Hotham Street in Preston. George has done a magnificent job all year. We've been gone for a little while, Jules. We finished up when the season finished up, but we're back for an off-season review. It's been a big one.
Massive.
And a 2026 preview. So firstly, I just want to say thank you to George for the year. I want to say thank you to all the sponsors. You won't see them here tonight. They're done for the year. This is a little bonus episode for everyone. But 3099 Jerky, St. David Dairy and Vortep, always forgot, and Vortep. Thank you to all three for believing in us this year, I guess. It was good. It was good to have them on board, and we'll be back next year, bigger and better. So, Jules, we do this all the time, and I reckon you might have something to share today for the first time in a long time. How are you, man?
Good, fella.
What's been going on?
Oh, I've been pretty busy.
How busy have you been?
I've been pretty busy. Obviously, the new ones arrived. So Elena, she's going very well. She's kicking goals at the moment, which is great. When I say every parent probably says this, I mean, every parent definitely says this.
They do say that.
Yeah, it's just obviously amazing in terms of what she's been able to do. She's 6 weeks and 2 days today. So, but she's so strong. When I say so strong, like it's actually ridiculous. Like every midwife or nurse that we go to, or Belen brings her to like her checkups and so on. She's just like so strong. Yeah. And they're just curious because she's got obviously a full head of hair.
She's got the most hair I've ever seen on a baby.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So but she's obviously being a lot more responsive now, little by little. Which is nice.
Little by little,
nice.
Oasis. No, she's beautiful, man. I met her. What would it be? 3 weeks ago now? Probably since I've seen you.
Mm-hmm.
You've been trying to catch up on sleep since then, but she's beautiful, man. I'm right for you. You and Belen. So. No, we don't have pictures, unfortunately, Sandra. But you'll see Elena at games, I reckon, from opening round next year.
Sydney. I'm trying. Bella, what's going on?
Not much, to be honest. Since everyone last saw me, she's been settling in. Gab's back full time, which is good. She doesn't have a job. She finished the Pilates course. She's going to try and become an instructor. So Yeah, I know there's a few people in the chat saying I need a haircut. Probably do. It's not booked in for another 2 weeks, so this is going to get interesting. But like just relaxing. It's good. No travel.
Sure, there's someone in the chat that knows a Pilates studio and needs someone.
Yeah. Hey, if there's any listeners that yeah, like Jules said, help my girl out.
Sure, there's somebody.
Yeah, she's going well. She's she's got like heaps of hours to do. She's got like observation hours and shit like that she's got to do. So she'll get through that. When's the wedding? Funnily enough, we went and looked at a venue today. Looked at a few venues. So I think we're going to make a decision this week on a date and on a venue. So
is it in the city or like not a city, but is it in the burbs? You have to tell us.
We're tossing up between regional or city, regional or metro. Because Gab's from out of Castlemaine way. So
yeah, that's the reason I'm asking. Yeah.
She's got a bit of a tie back there, so she's weighing up whether or not that's what she wants to do. But we'll see.
Fair enough.
Fuck, the place we went to today was ridiculous.
Is it?
I said no.
Why?
Not a chance. Too extravagant, bloke. Not for me. Come on, man. That's something. It's more something Dan to do. But no, it was like a lavender farm out in like Dalesford.
Okay.
They do like Italian food and that. That's why Gab wanted to go search on something Italian for the wedding.
Yeah.
But probably not. Anyway.
So was it like a winery or not?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It's like an old homestead. I don't know how else to. Anyway. Speaking of Dan, no, we wish him well. Sick and that. I hope you're resting up. It's good. It's not like he didn't have his fucking work Christmas party yesterday, but that's all right. He's got a headache today, Jules. Oh, fuck.
I'm not going to give him a clip because I feel like as if I was going to do that, I'm being respectful of him.
Well,
if I was going to do that, I prefer him to be here.
All right. So let's say this. Let's say it was me, right, that called in and said, "Oh, yeah, no, I had my work Christmas party yesterday. I got a headache. Oh, but I'm not. It's not from that. I took it easy. I just got a migraine all day. I've been on the couch, can't get up." What would he be saying about me if I didn't rock up tonight? You tell me.
The first thing he would have said was, if you can't drink, don't drink.
And what did I say to him?
In the text message? Yeah, yep. That's exactly what you said.
Yep. Sorry, I'd be copping it 10 times worse than what I've just given it to him. So anyway, if he is sick, he says he is, get better soon. We'll see you in 2026. Didn't want him here tonight anyway. It's better than just me and you anyway.
I'm sure we'll see him in the next couple of weeks.
Anyway. He won't be watching. That's what he never watches.
No, he won't.
So I can say whatever I want about him.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a prick.
I'm sure someone will actually like fill him in. Someone will fill him in. Someone will record and send it through to DM.
They probably will. Anyway, I hope he gets better soon. Without any further ado, Jules.
Let's get into it.
I just said to Jules, this should go for more than 40 minutes from here. We don't have much to cover. And then we started thinking back.
Since what? Round 23 or whatever it was.
All right. So what do you want to start? So let's go. So round 23 finishes. Final start. We're not in it, but it kicks off for us pretty much straight away.
Well, it does, obviously, in terms of like conversations around TDK, JSOS and whatnot. So, and then obviously eventually Charlie. That sort of didn't start probably until midway through finals, I would say, when there was that footage of him leaving the club.
Did you ever believe him?
No.
Me neither.
Yeah, no. Straight no. So, yeah, and that obviously sort of instigated everything from there. So, I don't know. It was a very interesting off-season. I would say it's chaotic probably isn't the word. Actually, for what a chaotic off-season it could have been, I feel like as if the club's handled it very, very professionally. And the reason why I say chaotic is because there's been a lot of change. Obviously, Wright's come in at the beginning of the year, obviously took on the position a lot earlier than what he would have thought in terms of like being in a full-time position and having more of a say from Cookie. So, and then obviously Davies was brought in as well. So there was a lot of change off field and then even more change off field in terms of assistant coaches and even bringing in Simpson as well.
How many new assistants were there in the end? I think there was
a minimum 2 or 3, no?
Oh, there's more than that.
Fraser. Who else came in? Fraser.
Was it Truesdale or something?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there was
Obviously Adam Simpson in like Travis Boak.
Travis
culture.
Boak, obviously in terms of culture and leadership
There
as
was
well.
one more.
So
I'm sure there was one more. Escaped me. But yeah, obviously a lot of change in the coaches. Yeah, Simpson was the most recent
but
one.
he's more of an off-field, obviously, in terms of trying to liaise with Voss.
sure
So,
there was another.
which
I'll have a
in
look.
terms of the mentor thing, I know people have been discussing that around like that's the succession and so on. I genuinely don't see it that way. I feel like as if it's just a good support.
Lee Adams.
That's it.
Lee Adams, Truslove, Boak, Fraser, and now Simpson. So that's five. Five new within the coaching department, really.
Correct.
Since the end of the season, which is crazy to think.
And to be honest with you, it's what we needed, I feel, and I think we needed a bit of a fresh up there.
100%.
So just in terms of changing of a lot of ideas and expectations and so on as well. So
what do you make of the Simpson appointment?
Great.
Because probably the most interesting one now, right? Where the others are pretty stock standard senior assistants come in, and the Boak one is another one that was a little bit interesting around like a culture and leadership role. But the Simpson one he's a sounding board for Voss in particular, and Vossi was the one that we understand is that came to Graham Wright and said, "I want someone as a sounding board. Can we go get someone to do that?" Wright's brought in Simpson. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a great initiative by the club. To be honest with you, so look, I think in any profession, I know Pov, he has a mentor that he looks at. I'm the same. I have a mentor. I'm lucky to work with him now. So I feel like as if everyone has one. This is obviously a little bit different because it's someone that's outside the football club, and just because it's in a coaching position, and this person as well in Simpson could eventually coach again. By all reports, like he's still interested in a capacity. So it is an interesting one. But I see it like a sounding board and someone that he can actually liaise with. Voss would have one anyway. Well, this is just Voss would have one. He would have spoken to Lee Matthews and so on as well. Even Hinkley
for sure.
So
whether it was the same, I guess
it's just formalized
frequency. Yeah, and this is now. That's right. You've got someone that's on a hotline. Whenever he needs. I think it's come too late. I think it probably needed to happen earlier. I think a lot of people are a little bit. I know a lot of people are taken aback by it. They come from the line of thinking, "Oh, well, if he's good enough, why does he need a sounding board?" Right. In every profession, you touched on it before. Every profession, regardless of where you're at in what level you're at in your profession, you should always be bouncing ideas off someone. Always, you should be the best coach in footy. You should still have someone that you bounce ideas off of. Because if you're not, you're basically saying, "I'm at the top of my game, and there's nowhere for me to go." Right. So even if you are the very best, like Alistair Clarkson at his peak. He probably still had mentors in the background that we never heard of. And that was why he was able to adapt for so long and why he was able to stay at the top of his game for so long.
Yeah. Even in regards to that, like Alistair Clarkson, he would have had someone, and by all reports, it was someone like a Fagan who was actually able to keep him in line in that coaching leadership position, so that he had a Hawthorn. So it doesn't have to be someone of a Simpson caliber and so on. But in saying that, I think it's a good initiative by the football club. And to be honest with you, I think it's much needed. And like you said before, Payzana, I think it's come maybe a little bit too late, considering the position that Voss is in with one more year on his contract.
Agree. I agree.
And that's where I think people are questioning a little bit.
I hope it's not too late for Voss in the sense that he's not going to be able to get full value out of that sounding board. But it's definitely the most interesting appointment. And I'm very intrigued to see how it plays out. Because he's obviously working remotely from Perth still, Simpson. He's not going to be around the club much. So it's more so, from my understanding, he can just be called at any point to say, "We're thinking about doing this, change it up. What do you think? Or how can we unlock this part of our game? What do you think?" And it's just like it's almost like a mentorship, like we said. The second one, from an admin side, there was a big appointment, was Chris Davies. I'd like to touch on him before we get into the players and the merry-go-round there, because he was a catalyst, I think, for a lot of movement that we saw, along with Graham Wright. But he looks like from a few stories I've heard, he's come into the club, and he's looked everyone in the eye and said, "I don't give a fuck how we've done it in the past. That's bullshit. We're not doing it that way. We're doing it my way now." And it's clearly... it's clearly put a rocket up a few. And you can tell just by the way, even on social media, for me, that the club is positioning itself now, and the way that it's much more transparent around the communication around what we're doing. There's nothing it doesn't feel like anything's being hidden from us now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Look, I didn't really know about Davies until we actually hired him. I didn't know literally.
Yeah, I didn't know much
zero.
about him either. No.
Zero. Those kind of positions, especially from like a Port Adelaide, you probably don't hear as much unless they're a Victorian club.
Yeah. I don't think many
just,
people would have. I think you hear the headline, he's a good operator from someone, and everyone goes, "Oh fuck, he's great." Like none of us knew.
Yeah.
But from what we've seen,
yeah. But in saying that, I think he's come from a football club who's been there or thereabouts, and operated on a consistent basis for the last 10 years or more. So and has built like a pretty good culture in Port Adelaide Football Club. I would imagine.
Yep.
So especially with a player like a Boak that's obviously now come to us to the football club. No doubt that he's had a bit of a say in that as well. You can only have good people. You only want good people in football club, and that's what we've been able to acquire in the off season. Particularly, I know we're having a conversation more off field, and that's what we've done.
Boak, Davies, Voss, they've all got something in common. Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
They've all got something in common.
Yeah.
They were the best assistant coach, the good relationship with this player I'm about to mention.
Yeah.
The best head of footy with this player I'm about to mention. The best captain with this player I'm about to mention. If this isn't a fucking play for Zach Butters, I don't know what is, man. I'm sorry. Like, you've got all the pieces there.
I think we can get
for
to
next
that.
year.
I think we're going to get to that in terms of we'll get to that because of the draft picks and so on, in terms of the trading of ins and outs of our draft picks and futures, etc., which we will get into, and no doubt. But yeah, I just feel like as if the people that we've acquired now are people that you want, even with the likes of Fraser. He's another one.
Coming back to the club too after a few years out, which is good because it's probably given him perspective somewhere else. He brings what he's learned back. He's familiar with the environment, but he's able to change that environment that he's so familiar with, which I really like. Actually, really do like.
Yeah. So I think even that is great to see too. So yeah, no doubt in terms of the professionalism, I think it'll go on a level now too. It's going to be interesting to see what plays out in the season. That's for sure.
So speaking about professionalism, there are a few players that jetted off that didn't show any sort of professionalism in the final year of their time. From my standpoint, whether that be on field or off. We'll start with we'll finish with Charlie because we're going to have a lot to say about Charlie, but maybe we'll start with Jack first of the big three that sort of departed. Probably hit us all by surprise a bit at the end of the year. But this would have been a conversation that he was having with the club and a possibility probably for the last year, maybe longer.
I would say definitely last year.
So
TDK,
for sure. But even though the Jack one was a bit of a shock to us, I think when you take that into context, if he was disgruntled for as long as what he would have been in making that decision, like it just, I don't know. It's sort of, and we haven't seen how this is going to play out next year in terms of what the change in the environment looks like for our club and how that's going to impact on-field results. But if you've got a player like that whose heart and soul that's disgruntled for as long as what he was, right, before ultimately deciding to leave and cut ties with the club, with a name like that, it's no wonder in my mind we saw the decline before. And I'm not saying Jack was the reason for it, but it's symbolic of what we saw post GWS 2024. We had, wasn't we collapsed after that for the rest of the year. If you've got a player like that that's as disgruntled as what he was for that long a period of time, I think it just gives us an insight into why the club was in the position that it was in and why we found ourselves where we're at.
Yeah, I feel like as if it's interesting. It will be interesting, if possible, to find out the reasoning, like why he felt that way. No doubt he's been a player that's been sort of thrown around. Hasn't really cemented a spot in a position. Like, he always played, but it was all right. Go play as a third tall. Go pinch it in the ruck. All right, now you know what, we're going to train you down back. And then I felt like as if this year in particular, I felt like as if maybe he was valued more. by us
which was probably too late.
defensively, especially in the media.
Yep.
Which was eventually too late.
Yep.
I'll
be interested to see if he plays as a defender at St Kilda or if they've drafted him to play as a utility again. That's going to interest me.
He'll play down back.
Yeah,
he'll play down back. But so I just feel like, it's an interesting one. But I mean, he always played well.
Yeah, it's just that he couldn't stay on the park.
Yeah,
that was his problem.
But he always played well,
Yeah.
and he always gave 100%. So even for him, in terms of being like disgruntled, I mean, he's good friends with like Doherty, and he's one of the players who he's a very like symbolic in terms of Carlton now because of obviously what he'd gone through and so on as well. So I feel like as if they have a connection, I don't know how disgruntled he would have like. If it was me and I'm Doc and that was a person, like, a player, a colleague, and they were disgruntled and sort of, creating friction between other players and the club, I'm not too sure if that relationship would have lasted. I don't know. I just think it's
Doc's an interesting one since he's retired.
And whether this is throughout.
No, I know. But since he's retired and the insight that he's given around the last couple of years at the club, and even his role within the club and what he believes he could have done better. Like he reflected on the prelim, he could have held himself to a better account on that day to get us through. There's a couple of comments he's made in some interviews where I just sort of think, he's the leader of the footy club and he's heart and soul, and we all love Doc. But was someone like that, and I'll tie this back to the Jack in a minute, was someone like that throughout the last couple of years with everything that he was going through, was he fit enough to lead us culturally? Probably not. And this isn't to try and throw Doc under the bus, but you've got to be a harsh critic of considering how far we fell culturally, right? In my mind, and if Doc himself is saying that he wasn't able to hold himself in those moments, right, or dig us out of the trenches and all that stuff within those prelim, you'd expect that would be the case day to day. Now, if that is the case day to day, you want to talk about Jack Silvani and his relationship with someone like Doc, for instance. Not that Doc would have fed that, but would it have helped Jack's mentality at the time if he's disgruntled? Probably not. Probably not if you don't have strong leaders around you. And I'm only saying that because this is what I can take from what Sam Doherty said since his retirement. It just doesn't feel like we had strong leaders at the club over the last couple of years. Both in the coaching box, in the playing group, in the admin, there was just nothing uniting the group. So I get what you're saying, but I don't think that relationship with Doc would change anything. I think, if anything, it probably...
I feel like as if the disgruntledness and the lack of cohesion came from another player.
Well, I don't know if I can put it all on, but we'll move on from Jack. Obviously, people are disappointed. I think people are upset, rightfully so. I think he's going to cop it when we play St Kilda, and to be honest, rightfully so from the fans. And it's a little bit of a different one to Tom.
Do you reckon Jack will cop it?
Is he going to cop it? Are you joking? Come on, man. We're talking about Silvani. Like, come on, man. What do you mean is he going to cop it?
I don't know. Did Essendon
does
Essendon boo Danaher, or did they boo Danaher?
I don't know. I never went to those games. I reckon probably early on,
I don't know. It's just interesting.
Cop it for what? Nah, this is where I'll make the distinction between Jack and Tom, right? And this isn't about Jack as a person. It's about Jack as a player, right? And the Silvani name that's synonymous with Carlton. Difference between Jack and Tom. Tom left for like money that none of us, I'm getting used to it. None of us. You can say whatever you want if you're watching this right now. Not one of us would have said no to. You wouldn't have said no to it. No, you wouldn't have. I don't give a fuck. No one would have said no. You wouldn't have said no. No way you would have said no. To 1.7 million a year? I don't care how much you love Carlton. Right. No, but this is my point. At 1.7, that is money that you may never see again in your life. True?
One day.
You'd hope so. But none of us would have said no to that. I don't think we're disgruntled with Tom. Like, if you're taking that stance, I don't know what you want from the guy, to be honest. I'm a bit shitty that he wasn't professional this year on field. I don't think it was. I think he'd thrown it in.
Oh, no, 100%.
He'd thrown it in from round 6, 7. Like, you could see it. His body language. We spoke about it all year.
To be honest with you, I actually feel as well with JSOS, TDK obviously definitely, but even with JSOS, I felt like as if the club thought, you know what, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Okay, we actually want the picks. and the picks are going to help us to actually acquire certain players and even certain players into the future. Considering the trades, the draft after next year is going to be heavily
Compromised.
compromised and affected because of obviously
very.
the new club in Tasmania. So I think there's a lot that has happened and a lot still to play out into the future in regards to player movements and so on.
So Tom didn't take any of this by surprise. Jack probably did. Do you think we can cover for both of them before we move on to Charlie and then
Yes.
and then the other recruits that we brought in? But do you think we can cover for the both of them from next year?
Yeah, I do. I think with a TDK, I think you got Reedy. I feel like
O'Keefe.
I feel in terms of like depth there, no issues. Particularly now that we've got Reedy as well. And we're still probably a little bit unknown, but I know Pito will be able to at least play a role. I don't think you need, and we've discussed this on the podcast. I think if you can have a top tier ruckman, unbelievable. But if you don't, you just need someone that just competes.
Yeah.
And he's been rated highly across the competition before for a 5-6 week period and then got injured and so on. So as long as he can stay fit and healthy, have a big preseason, I have no doubt that he's going to be able to compete come 2026. In terms of JSOS is an interesting one. I feel now that we've obviously locked in Dean, he'll play round one. And he'll take the second or third anyway, obviously alongside Wiedering and Haynes. So I have no doubt that down back we've got people that can cover. Even with O'Farrell obviously coming back in 2027 as well.
Yeah,
long term.
Yeah, he will eventually come back in. Yeah. Do you think with just while we're on the defense before moving to Charlie, Gov as well? Like, what's his role next year now? Considering Silvani left, considering he didn't get Buku, like, does he play?
If Dean's ready to go, which by all reports he is, he'll play. And if you want to go from in terms of height, you'll have and ranking of who's your number one key for defender and so on. You've obviously got Wiedering, Haynes, and then Reed. Then Dean. Okay, there's your three. And then, unfortunately, but if Newman's back, he'll be the fourth. And I don't see McGovern playing otherwise.
So Gov,
I think obviously you got Sard and the like.
I think Gov's a swingman now. Like, if we need a forward, like if Kemp can't get up for a game, if Haywood misses a game, you call on Gov. He probably takes the Young role at this point that Lewis Young played for us this year. I think that's now Gov's role.
I actually see Young playing before Govan in a defensive.
It'll be interesting. It'll just be interesting to see how they treat that next year. I think he knows where he's at in his career. I would say so. 1 year deal. If anything, I actually think it's going to be really good for our VFL program. You need a strong VFL program. And for me, you need experienced players in your VFL program to bring the younger kids or the more experienced kids through to teach them as they're sort of going through their learning and development, right? So someone like Gov in there that is probably going to be playing VFL next year for a large chunk of it.
Yeah.
I'm not
just a question on that because I know you're talking about the VFL. Is our depth, maybe not quality, high end talent, better? But now, is our depth better now?
Absolutely. We'll go into that in a minute because I'm going to break it down for everyone. This is the most balanced our side has looked in 10 years, I reckon. Yeah. I'm actually not even joking. Yeah. Before we talk about the recruits, one more to talk about. Tee off. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
On who?
Who you think?
Good luck to him. Good luck to him.
We got this. Did we not get this? I'm happy to say we got this mail back in like July.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a shock. And we actually alluded to it. If there was anyone that was watching a certain show, we actually alluded to it. We stayed away from the topic because we weren't sure. We alluded to it not too long after we got the news. It was happening for a long time.
Well, you can see it in terms of the way he was playing. What do you mean?
Yeah, his body language is disgusting. Yeah. Charlie just, I don't know.
To be honest, like
none of it surprised me in terms of how it played out. Like it didn't shock me at all.
I'm just so happy what we actually got for it.
Oh, it's crazy.
What we actually got for it, I'm like over the moon. Particularly, obviously, with his like body being like the way it is and so on. So, we've obviously looked at the now, but obviously looked at the future too. In terms of obviously got Haywood and Florent. Within that, obviously, Florent was a future third or third round or whatever it was, but I'm still packaging it
Yeah,
up.
of course, it's the same. It's
I'm
part
still
of the same deal.
packaging up with that deal too. So, yeah.
I don't know. Charlie just it was very disappointing how it ended. But if you didn't see that coming from a mile away, you're blind, or you didn't want to see it. Does that make sense? Like you were so tied to having Charlie as like a one club player, and he was the guy that was going to bring us out of the rut and all that. You were blind, and you were kidding yourself coming from him. Like he's trying to tell us after the game against what was the last game he played or second last game, whatever it was, post match interview. Are you here? Yeah, I'm here next year. He gets to the car park. I've already spoke about that last week. I said I'm staying. Like it was just lying through his teeth. Like you could just see it. You could see it.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. But to be honest with you, I just feel like as if the players that we got in and so on, looking at the now, still obviously keeping one eye on the future as well. Obviously in terms of like acquiring, Cody Walker and maybe a Butters or of an A grader and the like. And to be honest with you, we actually must have a lot in our salary cap.
What now?
Considering I think Williams might be, at least by reports, on 1 million this year.
More.
Like next year.
Yeah,
But then that's done. And then that releases even more.
We have a lot of cap space.
Yeah, we should have a fair bit to be able to acquire some high end quality next off season.
All right. They're the outs. The ins. Big ins for me. We'll talk about the trade.
There could even be more outs.
It could be still. Oh, no, I don't think so. I think the list is pretty much set. But anyway.
Well, there's still one spot, and we don't know if Elijah Holland.
Oh, true. Out of like,
he hasn't even been training, and I'm not too sure if he's able to.
He's training on.
Apparently, but I don't think he's been cited.
Not sure. I'm not sure on that. But the big ins from like the trade period, really. Liam Reedy, Campbell Chesser, Will Hayward, Ben Ainsworth, Ollie Florent. Liam Reedy, Campbell Chesser, I don't really know what their role is going to be straight out the gate. I think Chesser's going to be a good player for us long term. He's still quite young. He might play opening round. He might play round one. Don't know. We do need a good winger. I think Akers dropped off a cliff this year, and he needs to be pressed for a spot next year. Reedy may not be our number one or number two ruck choice straight out the gate, but he's really good depth, really good backup. The other three are the three that probably interest me most and probably interest all of us. Hayward, Florent, Ainsworth. Start with Ainsworth because they're a bit of a package deal, but Ainsworth. I think this guy, as an acquisition, has flown under the radar of everyone to this point in the offseason, to the point where I think next year he might be, I'm not saying he will be, but I think we'll be looking at it halfway through the year going, this is the number one recruit from last offseason.
Yeah, probably in terms of what we gave up for him, I would say, yeah. I just feel like as if he's the type of player who could play midfield. And to be honest with you, Gold Coast midfield is like so stacked. Like, it's like ridiculous in terms of how stacked it is.
Sorry, George. Mics keep cutting out apparently. Can you just maybe chuck the headphones on and just see if it's like our issue, if we're like too far away? Yeah.
Like their midfield's so stacked, so he couldn't even really pitch hit in there. Like with Humphrey going through there and the like. So I think he's that type of player who's going to be able to give us a bit of a 60-30, a 60-40, 70-30 split, and offer us something different. Still got that experience, play that high half forward, even go back and play, a bit of a small forward role as well, and kick a few goals too. So I just think on field he's going to give us a lot of leadership with the likes of obviously Motlop and Moyer and so on as well. So don't underestimate his ability to be able to influence on field. He's got the ability to kick us 30-40 goals.
I think goals aside, he's never kicked more than 25 seasons, so I don't know if he can have that sort of impact straight at the gate, particularly with the role I think he's going to play, what you've alluded to. But he's a guy that's played 158 games so far. He's kicked 137 goals. He is pretty durable. He's only ever really missed maybe a handful of games in season. But we're talking about a guy that's a mid-forward that will pinch it up the ground in that Fantasia role in a way better and more impactful way than Fantasia probably ever was able to for us. And not only that, if he's able to do that consistently, it frees up another player that has been frustrating all of us, but for the wrong reasons to this point, right? Because he's been trying to play that role as well. when he's not suited to that role. Jesse Motlop could be the one that kicks 40 goals next year because he might be a stay-at-home small forward, which is what he should have been for the last 2 seasons. You got a guy like Ben Ainsworth that can really push up into the middle of the ground, give that mid-forward connection. Motlop doesn't have to roll up to centre stoppages anymore. He might every now and then, but it's not going to be 60-40 like we've probably seen.
Yeah.
He's going to be at 80% stay-at-home small forward with a little pinch hit in stoppages in the middle when we need to. That's the thing that excites me with Ben Ainsworth that I don't think enough people are seeing the vision on just yet, is what it does for the players that were maybe asked to play roles they've been playing with.
Yeah. I think even like with an Ainsworth and obviously a Haywood, which we're going to next, they're only just going to help our mid-forward connection, which we've been like literally crying and screaming out for the last, I don't know how many years. So
speaking of Haywood, do you see him pinch hitting as much as what Ainsworth will, or do you see him being more like that second foil to Harry?
He'll be a high half forward, play deep at times when Mackay goes up the ground a little bit.
Again, 184 games, 229 goals across his career. Very durable. Very durable.
He'll play years, second or third to all, depending on if Kemp plays. I reckon our forward line's obviously with those two inclusions, even with like a Moya
plus
playing,
Kemp coming back.
Kemp coming back. Our forward line's going to look completely
dynamic.
different.
Dynamic is the word that I want to use at the moment because we haven't had this many layers to our forward line for a long time. It's always been Harry or Charlie, and that's it.
And think too, like with those kinds of players, I know Harry as well. He's the type of player who will work and like press and harass and tackle. Our forward line next year. Well, I've been saying it for how many years?
Hey, you and your dad were spot on. I'll put my hand up. I apologize.
If they're going to be leading the front in that, with the likes of other small forwards, and you never know in terms of our draft picks and who we acquired there, if they could play as early as next year as well. So I have no doubt that our forward line is going to look very, very different. Well. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's going to look very, very different.
Yeah, Haywood excites me. I was spewing when he initially signed an extension with the Swans because we were like deep into him last year when he was a free agent or coming up to free agency. I was spewing that we couldn't sign him because I thought he would have been a really good addition to the forward line at that point. Now that we've lost Charlie, which I think is going to be for the better, personally, for the balance of the team, and you get someone of that quality in that knows not just how to kick a goal, because he's kicked, I think, 25 plus for 5 years straight.
Yeah, something like that.
5 straight years, 25 plus, but comes from a good culture, right? And this is what for with the Swans, he's been in that system for 8 years now or 9 years, right? That's a good system to be brought up in to bring that into our environment that we're trying to change, right? And I think that's just another layer. Even Ainsworth, like he's come from the Suns prior to Hardwick getting there, it was probably a bit tough and the environment was a bit tough, but he's been under Hardwick now for 2 years, right? He has seen what a premiership coach can do for a club, right? And how that can change the environment. So he's going to bring that with his maturity as well. Ollie Florence, another one. Yeah, so you speak about Haywood, Florence right next to him, obviously best mates, got a business together and whatnot. I think it's good business by us. I don't even know if we would have chased Ollie Florence if Haywood wasn't on the table, to be honest. That's just, I don't know. We're never going to know the answer. But I think pairing them up, keeping them together, they're only going to feed off each other. Florence had that connection with Haywood for 8 years now. Like, I'm talking on field.
Yeah, with an Ollie Florence, I just feel like it's what we need anyway.
184 games again.
Very durable this year. Obviously,
experience.
Hasn't really played, but played finals. Haywood's played finals. Ainwood's played obviously a little bit of finals now as well.
This is the thing. Everyone's saying he couldn't make Swans best one too. He was like top 10 in their BNF for 5 years straight before Cox came on board.
I think under Cox, he just, for whatever reason,
just fell out of favour.
Fell out of favour. But yeah, he's a quality player. He could be in our top 10 best and fairest next year, like no doubt.
You want to make a Nick Haynes call? Like, hey, that was fucking spot on, wasn't I? I got hammered for it at the time, but fuck me, he finished top 5, man.
No, like he genuinely could though. He'll play like he's a player, half back, bit of pace, can play on the wing as well. There's something different.
So do you think he plays off half back or off the wing?
He'll play. Well, it depends. I don't know where Ollie Hollands is going to play.
No, he'll play on the wing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though.
Ollie's
I don't
back
know.
on the wing.
If he's back on a wing, then yeah, Florent will play half back.
Back. Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think we need someone like him behind the ball to patrol, and like he's got a good kick on him. Good enough kick on him. Yeah. All right. So they're the ins from the trade period, and then we get to we've got to talk about what we got for Charlie, obviously, because it was a ridiculous haul. So 3 first round picks plus Will Hayward plus with you. I think there was a second rounder.
I think it was a second rounder.
Was there?
Maybe a future second rounder.
There was a future.
We
There was
gave
a
up
future
a
pick.
future second. I don't know.
Just a ridiculous package for Charlie. We couldn't have gotten more out of that deal, from my perspective. Do you agree?
No. They were waiting for a deal like that. Essentially, Carlton just said, "We want 3 first rounders and
Plus a player, plus
whatever,
extras. Yeah.
whatever it is. This is what we want. If you give it to us, no problem. Done. If not, we're hanging on to Charlie."
Yeah,
That's essentially what we did.
Really, it's when you think about it, it's not. We didn't just get Charlie for Hayward and picks. We got Charlie for Hayward, Walker, and maybe another player that we can use those picks on next year or the year after to trade in. Right, so
Correct.
you're getting Charlie for 3 players that are going to be high quality at the end of the day.
Because I'm telling you now,
Charlie's
picks-
body's fucked, in my opinion. His knees are gone, his ankles are gone. He's 29, 30 next year, whatever it is. Like
picks we got for Charlie, and then even I know we're going to go into the trade period, the draft as well over the last 3-4 days.
Mhm.
Those picks that we acquired for the future, some of them obviously will
from
go
the draft,
towards,
from
draft night as well. They will obviously go towards Walker. But if you got 2 firsts for next year and 2 firsts for
Year after.
2027,
Yeah.
out of those 4 firsts, mate,
You're getting a player.
yeah.
Yeah.
Depending, obviously, what the AFL do.
Yeah.
Depending,
Yeah.
because it's sort of the unknown in terms of the points.
Yeah,
and so
you're
on,
gonna
how it's
bring
work.
in a player.
You're bringing in a player or two.
agree.
I reckon from 4 first
hard.
rounders.
As the concessions will start quickly after that, like from 2027. So those picks aren't going to be worth as much as what people think. The 2027 picks.
Yeah, but you forget that we've got also 2 future seconds
Oh, true. Next year.
and
next year.
and 2 future thirds now.
The thing that cooks me about that is that the AFL haven't been clear with anyone, let alone the public, probably not even the clubs yet, on what the bidding system is going to look like next year for points. I think this is why we might have loaded up, because we just don't know, which is just
Potentially.
If anyone at the AFL ever listens to this podcast, sort it out, man. This it's very ambitious, George. Thank you. But seriously, sort it
Why
out.
won't they listen to us, George?
Sort it out, man. How hard is it? What sort of competition are you running where you tell clubs there's going to be changes, but we don't know what the changes are? As trade and draft are happening.
That
Ridiculous.
affects next year.
That's going to affect next year and the
Yeah.
year after. That's crazy.
You surely would think as a club you have some idea where the AFL is going to go to, though. Surely.
I don't know. You'd hope so. But if not, these this stocking up of picks that we saw on draft night, it could just be that we don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who's out there? Who's out of contract?
Next year.
Yeah.
Z Butters.
Walsh is sort of out also.
Well,
out of
Walsh too,
contract
yeah, which we need to, you'd hope. Actually, it's probably a good one to talk about before we go into draft, because of the current crop, you'd want to keep Walsh.
Yes.
When do you get worried? At what point?
Bye.
No, I'm getting worried by opening round.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
That early?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a nervous person.
Nah, because for a guy, you can't. Because for a guy that's come out and said that he wants to take the club forward, he wants to be a leader of the club and all that. He hasn't signed a contract by opening round. I'm taking it with a grain of salt.
All right. I've heard things that between the manager and the club that the conversation is going well. So I don't know. I if you're making those as like what Walsh is like as a person, if he's having and discussions like that and he's speaking like that, he wants to stay.
We need him to stay. I think he is a player now. I know we discussed him earlier in the year as maybe someone to move on because of his body and all that, but what he showed when he came back and the way that he spent, the fact that he's coming into like his peak years as a midfielder and peak of his powers, he's a player you just need to sign.
Oh, you have to keep him.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I think culturally that's a player you need to keep.
Yeah.
Like, he is clearly a future captain of the football club after Readers, maybe. don't know what the captaincy is going to look like next year, but while we'll be in that role at some point, you have to keep a player like that. You just do. At all costs, for me.
Time will tell.
All right. Draft. 3 new kids. Taylor Byrne. Don't know much about him, if I'm being honest. Still don't know too much about him. Didn't know much about him going into draft night. Still don't, but he's a small forward. So clearly we are trying to address needs. I don't think you can have too many small forwards, to be honest. Most teams have 3 or 4 to contribute on any given week. We barely have 2. So the more the better. Sounded like we were targeting him earlier in the draft, and he slipped, and then we decided to shuffle some picks. Is that right?
From my understanding.
Yeah. So I don't know if he'll back next year or not, but it'll be interesting to see how he develops. The other 2 are obviously
The one with Byrne, though, he's actually been playing senior footy already, at, by all means, local level, but at least he's hardened.
Yep, great.
So I think he just played in the granny too. I think I played in the granny and won.
Which div?
Something in the country. In the country.
Look,
with his brother.
I don't think you can have too many of them. I really don't. I think you can stock up on small forwards and mids until your heart is content. Mids as well. Whether they're inside or out, doesn't matter. Just get as many in the door as you possibly can.
Yeah, well, you have a look at the likes of Brisbane, and they got 50 of them.
That's what I'm saying. And they can call on him at any time.
And they just got, what was his name? Hannibal.
Was it Hannibal the Brisbane one?
Yeah, I think so. A pick 6.
Yeah, because then the Suns had Euland and Patterson.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's a joke.
Hey, it's going to be us next year. Seriously.
Yeah, but we have to give up 4 first rounders for him.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. And, I mean, speaking of which, 2 other academy kids this year for us. So, Jack Ison, first one, new number 30. Fucking love it too, by the way.
Yeah, it's good.
New number 30. And our new number 35, taking his dad's old number, Harry Dean.
Yeah, thanks to Billy Wilson.
Yes, very much that up.
Yes, obviously, I will probably speak on a little bit more. With Ison, I actually think he could be anything, to be honest with you. I think he's that player, mid-forward connection. He's got time to develop.
A quote from Tony Sheehan on Fox Footy on draft night, and I swear I heard this. It pricked my ears up because I'm like, I've never heard of Jack Ison spoken in this way. But Tony Sheehan likened him to Marcus Bontempelli.
If you ever actually watch the way he plays, you can see it.
Mid-forward, left footer.
Yeah.
Is he left footer? Is he left footer? Yeah. Left footer,
Yeah.
mid-forward, can kick.
The 3 players we picked up are all left footers.
Yeah. So, they are. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I like that. So Dan's kid, he looks like a left footer as well. Dan's wrapped. Jack Ison, I'm excited by. I think he might be a bit of a project player for next year. I don't know if he's going to play. He might surprise me, but I don't think he'll play.
Season goes.
Yeah, I don't think he'll play early.
But you know what, with Ison, what I like about him, he actually seems very, very confident.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like as if he don't know for sure.
I just don't know the role now, which is crazy to say because I think we've got enough forwards and mid forwards that will step into the side now with Ainsworth.
I think we've got others more experienced players with those players.
Ainsworth, Williams, Hayward that are at mid forward or high half forward.
Wayne Evans.
And Frankie Evans too might roll up. I think we've got enough of those types now that we need to experiment with before you go Jack Ison easy debut. Huh?
Out of that group, it's going to be interesting to see who plays.
I think all of those players play though. I think they
have to.
I'm going to give you the best 23 before we leave that I've got in my head. I've done on paper many times.
I was doing it live.
Yeah, we'll go through it.
Okay.
Very early, and then you can tell me whether or not you agree with each line. Right. And the other one, obviously, Harry Dean.
Yeah.
Kid's a freak.
Yeah, he'll play around.
How good's his body?
He's big.
I didn't realize he was not just big though. Like he's solid.
Yeah.
He's like solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, he's got everything you want in a modern day key defender.
Reminds me of Weeders when he came in. I think he's going to play straight out of the game.
Yeah, and he's obviously left footer, good left foot on him.
Very mature.
Good one-on-one. Very
mature for 18.
Very strong-minded, see, and obviously like a father like Peter Dean, he's got a bit of I'll use grunt.
Bit of third letter.
Yeah. Bit of grunt.
Bit of the old third letter, George.
I'll just put it politely, a bit of grunt. So yeah, and to be honest with you, I actually don't know if we have any other defenders that have that.
Nah, and I love the way he speaks about the club too, and like what he wants to do for the club.
Yeah, he
and
just
how
wants
he wants to come in.
him. It's actually not about him. It's all about the club.
Yeah.
So for me to have a person like that, and obviously he's been growing up around the club. I know last season himself, Ison, and maybe even Walker. I'm not sure. I know Walker's been training at the moment, but I know definitely Ison and Dean. Last off season, we're training every Friday with the club. So he's already been around the boys. They already know each other and so on. So yeah, obviously now they're gonna have a full pre-season together. But he plays opening round against Sydney.
Yeah.
Sydney, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He's locked.
You
Obviously, unless
You coming?
touch wood. No, I'm in Sydney the weekend before.
Bad Bunny. I'll be there. I'm gonna be over the fence.
You're gonna buy tickets in this.
Mars has already said
Golf
this
square?
on the jumper
And
bunch.
this
He's,
golf square?
he's buying 4 pockets. He's buying all. I'm going. I'm absolutely going.
But we're playing them here as well in Melbourne.
No, we're not. No,
Oh, no.
nah. He's dodged us for a whole year.
Well,
He's not coming to Melbourne.
That's
Fucking
good luck.
bullshit.
you
Nah,
know,
it's
I'll
rubbish.
just go to a game when
When
they're
he's in
playing
Melbourne.
Collingwood or something.
Oh, we should actually do
We should,
that.
man.
We'll
Just
get a crew.
torment him.
We'll get like a crew together. Like
No, we'll do it.
Sydney. Or Melbourne or something. They'll play Melbourne at the MCG
Yeah.
or something. We should all
Yeah, or St
Pack it
Kilda.
up.
So we see all 3 of them.
True, actually. Speaking of, we're going to do this very quickly. Try and be honest.
Oh, I did this.
It's a way too early review of next season, but we're here tonight, so I might as well do it, right? And this will change. We'll do another preview.
I'd
show.
rather go through the 23.
Yeah, we'll do that after this.
I thought we were going to be here for 40 minutes.
Opening round, Swans.
Loss.
I agree. George will be the decider.
Okay,
If
if we all right.
Richmond,
win.
Melbourne, win.
Yeah, they're terrible. They should be. If Melbourne aren't terrible, I'll be shocked.
So 2-1. North,
Win.
3-1. Adelaide, loss. 3-2. Pies, win.
Do you reckon?
Pies are done. I've said that many times on this show. George, lose
Lose.
camera.
Lose. You said it that many times.
Collingwood are fucking done. It's over. They're finished. We don't need to worry about it. They won't be competing for a long time. 4-2. Pies.
Mate,
3-0.
we're top 6 at
Free-
this stage.
3-0 away. No, we got a good start. We finished poorly. I've already done this. 3-0 away.
We usually do pretty well.
Yeah, but I'm saying loss.
Okay, 4-3. Yep.
4-3. Saints.
Not with Nas.
You say no? We play them twice.
Win.
All right. So 5-3. I'm happy to go there. Brisbane together.
Loss.
5-4. Dogs.
Loss.
5-5. Port. Away.
Loss.
Yeah, I'll say loss there. I think we played them twice too. So 5-6. Cats. Win. Bunnies. We love them.
Loss.
All right. George. The G. 6-6. Dons before the bye.
That's a win.
7-6 at the bye is what we're saying. All right.
That's in the 8.
Wait till the way this fixture ends. Giants away.
Loss.
Loss. 7-7. Eagles. Win.
Win. Yeah.
So 8-7. Richmond.
Win.
9-7. Hawks.
Loss.
9-8. Pies. I say we split it. I don't think we're
Okay,
going to beat
yeah,
them
fair
twice.
enough.
Right. So
9-9.
9-9. Suns. A Marvel. No. 9-10. I'm saying that's a loss.
Win.
Loss.
Come on, George.
George. 9-10. Lions.
Loss.
9-11. Saints. I'm saying we split it as well.
All right.
9-12 all of a sudden. Dogs. I'm saying we split it. 1-1. I'm not going to beat him
All
twice.
right, so 10 and 12.
No. 9-13.
Oh, 9 and 13. Okay.
Dockers in the last round.
Yes, 9 and 4.
So if you split that, that's 10-13. If you lose twice, Dockers, 9-14. So yeah, I think we're going to start hot, and it might carry some momentum through for us. If you look at our form to finish this year, in particular, I don't think we're going to be outside of a wild card. No, actually, Wildcard? You're going to get around it? I don't
That
like
is
it.
the fakest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I don't like it right now. But
Honestly.
yeah, you say this now, I'm going to hold you to it because when we finish fucking
No.
10, when we finish 10, you're going to be there. Spells on like it's a final. You know you will be.
Obviously, I've got a membership. Why wouldn't I have been there?
George? Shit. Yeah, he hates it. Hates it. Yuck. He reckons.
What? Like, it's just rewarding mediocrity. I don't understand. What's with our culture?
I don't know, man. For the AFLs, how can more than half? Nah, well, yeah. So the question from George was, how can more than half the league qualify for finals? I agree now, but clearly the vision for the league is that they want 20 teams. Right? So if they want 20 teams, they're introducing this now so that eventually we get back to 50%. That's how I see it. I don't know.
They should just keep a top 8.
Anyway,
I
we'll
just want
see.
more games.
All
More
right,
games, more money. It's that simple.
quickly to finish because I've got it in my head already. We'll finish, and this is it for the year for us. And you won't see us until whenever I fucking say next year. Back line, backs. So we go backs, half backs, right? Backs. Cowan, Wiedering, Newman.
Mhm.
Yes? Agree?
Yeah.
Halfbacks, Sard, Dean, Florent. So that's your back six. Would
Yeah.
you change anything?
Nah, not at this stage.
Centre line, wingers.
I wouldn't mind seeing another young player in there. Oh,
Who though? I'll tell you something. Matt Carroll's the only one I look at that might play for half back, but if he's starting round 1 or opening round,
I wouldn't mind seeing who's the other defender on the bench.
Haynes.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
Okay. Centre line, Ollie Hollins, Cripps, Campbell Chesser. I'm saying
okay.
it's either Chesser or Akers. Who you want?
I'll let you know at the end of preseason.
All right, but you're happy with that for now.
Yeah, but I haven't seen enough of Chester.
Half
All I know
forward,
is he can run.
you can. A lot. You got a good kick on him.
Well, we'll see if that translates at Carlton.
Yeah, I know. They all forget how to kick when they come to us. Half forward line. I'm going to get this right.
Haywood,
Ainsworth.
Yeah.
No, so Ainsworth, Kemp,
Evans,
Williams. Ainsworth, Kemp, Williams, half forward line. Williams delivery inside 50 you need. Forwards, Watts, Harry, Haywood. Yeah?
That's probably it. Yeah.
Ruck line, Pitt, Walsh, Hewitt,
Mhm.
interchange, Chera, O'Keefe as your second ruck. So Harry doesn't have to pinch hit. Yeah, so Chera, O'Keefe, Evans, Lord, no more subs as a fifth. Jagger. Bloke. Fuck, we might. No, I'm not going to go there. Hey, is that not,
Yeah.
in your head, is that not the most balanced side that you can think of? Why?
It is. The only thing, Payson, is out of all the players that you mentioned, it's literally only Dean that comes in as a young player
Jagger.
that plays, and Jagger. But we all know what Jagger's going to be.
Mm.
I want one of
Moya,
Wilson,
yeah.
Moya, those kinds of players, one of the Campiales. We need them
To
to
step
come
up.
on.
Yeah.
If-
Lord might be that player that like really impacts everyone.
Yeah, but I feel like if he's already playing a part and
Yeah.
more, I want these other players
You need
to
another player
step
to
up
push.
and take a spot of a start.
Yeah.
I want Paul Wilson, start, step out of the way.
I actually think
That's what you
Sard,
need.
I actually think Sard's going to have a big year in my mind.
Don't know.
I think he bounces
I
back.
hope Wilson has a big year.
Yeah.
I hope Moya has a big year.
I agree.
I think Moya has a bit more X factor than a Kemp.
Yeah. The thing that is good though, is that none of those players right now who were at one stage this year, best 23 every single week, like they'll just walk up starts, right? They shouldn't be at this point in their career. They need to fight for this spot. And now, with the depth that we've got, because we traded out the like of Charlie, made room for a Jack, TDK, those players now have to fight for their spot. If you're a young kid, you have to fight for your spot, you're either made of it or you're not. And if you're made of it, you're going to get what you're asking for. Like that cream will rise to the top at the end of the day.
It should, but we'll see.
I think that's it.
Is there any questions?
Last one for you, actually. What's pass mark for Voss?
I think he probably has until the bye. I reckon it'll play out, but
How does he have to? What does the ledger have to look like? Just keep it simple. If we make a wild card spot, is he passed and win a wild card game to get into the final?
I think he has to have more wins.
Well, that's
a wild card, pretty much.
yeah. So you're saying 12-11 has to be minimum,
Yeah, I think it has
or
to be.
11-12 thereabouts.
And the thing is, I think the list can. I think the list can do more than that, to be honest with you.
if there's health permitting.
Well, health, and if, like I said, Moya step on, mate. It's Moya. Is his third year or fourth year now?
Third.
Third year.
Yep.
You know, all the good clubs, if you have a look, like Brisbane, they have first, second years. Like, look at what's his name? Is it Logan?
Yeah, Logan Morris.
Logan Morris.
His first year
You know,
with the flag.
obviously Ashcrofts and so on. Like, you know, even like Collingwood, they had
Stevenson.
Stevenson.
Yeah, back
You
in
know
the
what I mean? Like back in the day, I know he fell off a cliff. Obviously, doesn't play anymore. But they've all had players come in to play 20 games.
Yeah,
in
we
the
do.
first
We
season.
do. We do
We
need.
we need those kinds of players.
I think Harry
And-
Dean.
and
I think Harry
Moyes-
Dean and James Smith are going to be those players next year. I don't know if you can ask for more than that. Maybe a third. Maybe you're right.
You need a
Maybe
third.
you're right.
You need a third.
Maybe you're right. That's it. Yeah. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, George.
Thanks, George.
Any other questions?
Nah, I'm done. I've had enough. You got a kid to get home to. Thanks, George.
Thanks, Bella.
It's been a good year.
Good to be back.
It's good to be back. We will be back. We'll be back. I
Feb.
don't know. We'll talk to George. I reckon around Feb. And we're definitely going to be here. He's happy. We'll be back around Feb, maybe with 3 or 4 weeks leading to the season. Thank you to everyone for the year. It's been a pleasure. That's our 5th year. Done and dusted. 5 years doing this. Can you believe that?
No.
It's crazy, eh? Flown. 5 years. We'll be back for the 6th. We'll see you on 2026. Until then,
Out the baggers.
up the baggers.